Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comic Book Burrito Extra Beef. Hey, how many billionaires does it take to make Batman?
How many?
3. 2 to die, and 1 to never get over it. My name's Darian.
I'm Landon.
And today on this episode of Extra Beef, the second ever episode, last week we talked about Zack Snyder's Justice League. This week we talk about the critically acclaimed Batman Arkham video game series. But first, Landon, how have you been?
I've been okay. I talked on the Comic Book Burrito. I just said I was just playing through all the Arkham games again. Watched a couple of timelines, some videos, so we can get the true answer of, just what do we consider the best game?
Yeah.
So
I replayed. I didn't beat any. I beat City mostly. I didn't do the side mission.
Yeah.
But I did that, and then I also played half of Asylum, and I played Knight, but I've played and beat Knight many times. And Origins I didn't play, but I remember some stuff that happened because I watched some videos on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, I only played. I played throughout. Okay, I didn't replay Asylum and City because I played those like 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I platinumed Asylum. And I replayed City just because. The only one I played recently was Origins, and Arkham Knight I think I played like that at the beginning of the year. So I mean, it's still fresh in my head and stuff, and I've played those games so many times. Yeah. With New Game Plus and on different consoles. It's just that series is just down path for me.
Me too. But you ready to get? You want to get into it?
Yeah, so this is how we're going to do this. We're going to go by each game in order, and we're talking about the main games that were on consoles. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about our experience of how we were introduced to those games, and possibly, if we have time, because I know me and you were doing this, of what game would we like to see be made, or if we could make one. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So
we'll start with Asylum. Yeah. Start with
Asylum. So you want to go through your story or mine?
You go through yours because I got to remember mine.
Okay. So I would say, what year was it? It was like 2006, 7?
2006 sounds right.
2006.
Was it 2009?
It's between 2006 and 9. So, and I remember I must have been 4. I must have been like 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And I walked into a GameStop one day, and
2009.
2009. Okay. So I must have been, okay. Yeah. I was like 5 or 6. So I would walk through a GameStop, I would go to a GameStop or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I saw they had this like kiosk there where you could play demos and everything. Mm-hmm. And I saw a demo for Batman Arkham Asylum, and they had it was like 2 things you could do. You could do a stealth mission, or a fight challenge mission. It wasn't like in the game. It was like the challenges.
Yeah.
And I remember I played I would literally beg my dad to take me to GameStop just so I could play that demo. Obviously, I wasn't good at it at the stealth or fighting because I was 5 years old, but luckily I managed enough, and I just the combat, the stealth mechanics in that game were just so good. Mm-hmm. Eventually, when it came out, I bought it at Best Buy on the PlayStation 3, and and I played it and I loved it. So, and what about you? Do you remember yours?
Barely.
Yeah, it's 2009. I don't blame you.
I remember, because I remember playing Asylum, and I remember bits and pieces of my first time playing it, but I don't remember being introduced to. Part of me wants to think that it was my dad who bought it for me because he knew I liked Batman.
Yeah,
I played it, and I was scared of it, and then I played it again, and then I went back into it and played it, beat it. When I was little, but I don't know.
It's weird because like Asylum gives off a very like out of any of the games, even the fourth game, because the fourth game is made out. Is just the topic is fear.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One just has something about it that makes you uncomfortable. It's creepy. I guess because you're in like an asylum filled with crazy people.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess, and plus, I just want to point out the Scarecrow stuff in that game in Arkham Asylum is a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's really good. I wanted to say this because after watching the videos and playing these games over to do this podcast, I realized that there is no doubt in my mind why Batman is one of the most popular superheroes.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, first of all, it's Batman, so I mean, why not?
Yeah.
But his rogues gallery
It's probably the best.
is pure excellence. What
Mhm.
like these games have so many of the villains in them. Like with Arkham Asylum had the main villain being Joker and Harley Quinn,
Yeah.
Scarecrow, Killer Croc, Riddler,
Yeah, that little Zaz mini boss.
Victor's, yeah, and Poison Ivy,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Bane.
Bane, yeah, and
Oh god.
was that it?
Let's see here. Yeah, I believe that's it. Yeah, you have the Scarecrow. Yeah, Scarecrow, Bane,
Mhm.
Killer Croc.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn. Yeah, Harley Quinn's fight is not even like you don't even really fight her. It's more like a just it's more like just how long can you survive type of deal.
Yeah.
You fight Titan Joker at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and you get that Zaz. I mean, almost you can't consider it a boss fight because it's just you just glide kick him.
No, he became a boss in City. Didn't he?
Yeah, and it was more like you had to like stealth. It was more of like a elaborate, like, hey, don't get caught type of deal.
Mhm.
Bang, yeah. We named them all.
All right.
Everyone good, by the way. I'd say probably the worst one is. I mean, if you want to count Zaz, then that. But I'd say probably the worst one's probably Titan Joker. But even then, that's that's a great boss fight.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much that these games can do wrong.
Yeah,
They do some stuff wrong, but not much.
Even the worst one is still great.
Yeah.
you know. No, but we'll get into that, or at least I consider the worst one.
So for people who are listening that have never played these games or have, but it's been a long time, I'll give you the very quick rundown of what it was about. So you started off the game, Batman's driving Joker to Arkham and takes him in there, goes through everything, but Batman's like, okay, something's up. He wasn't let him get caught. He let himself get caught too easily. And Batman wanted to walk with him so he could figure it out. Lo and behold, apparently also on the side there was a fire at Blackgate Prison that sent all of Joker's crew to Arkham. And which I don't know how Batman didn't piece this together already. Like right when Joker said, "Isn't it a coincidence how 100 of my men got sent here?" I was like, this dude's the world's greatest detective and hasn't figured this out yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like I figured it out.
Well, I mean, by that time he said that, he was kind of like following him.
Yeah.
But I mean, he knew something was up. But at the same time, I mean,
yeah.
I guess just that. I mean, Batman can't get it every time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess
that's probably the great part about Batman is that like,
and he's human. So I mean,
he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like he wants to be perfect, but sometimes he kind of knows he can't be.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But he tries to be just the best, you know?
Yeah. So eventually, obviously, Joker breaks free, and then him and Harley run the asylum. And problems, we get to meet Scarecrow and go through some really amazing, like, fear toxin scenes.
Oh, I found myself replaying through that whole game just for those scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And the Killer Croc boss fight.
Yeah, that's
like those two. Like I don't know, because those scenes are so good. Like the first one's good, the second one is better, but the third one is like a masterpiece of like cinema. I mean, it's not even a movie, but cinema. It's so good because I remember being a kid, and the third one where it looks like it froze up your game.
Yeah, I thought my game broke.
I was all like, oh no, I was getting kind of scared. I was like, man, something happened to the game. What,
Yeah.
I remember my mom watching me play it, and she thought like, I broke our PlayStation 3. And that's how good it was. And then then it's like it resetted your game, and then just time playing Joker. Oh, so good.
No, correct me if I'm wrong. The Game of the Year edition of Arkham Asylum came with your ability to play as Joker in like one of those fight challenges, right?
Okay, so PS3, you got it you had it already.
Oh,
it was a PlayStation exclusive, I believe, for a while, and then the Game of the Year edition came out on the consoles, and then Xbox players got to play it.
Huh.
I think you could have bought it, but it was like a DLC you had to buy on Xbox.
I think I only played it like once.
Oh yeah, I remember I used to just play as I would do all the challenge maps, but I would only play as Joker. I wouldn't even play as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was so cool playing as like a supervillain.
Yeah. Okay. So in the rest of the rundown of the game, you're trying to figure out you're saving doctors and the commissioner and Warden Quincy Sharp, who is a character, and I meant that in the rudest way possible. And,
he's just the kid.
And you're just going through all this stuff, and eventually Joker builds this like thing for Batman, and Batman goes in there, and Joker's there. He's got Commissioner Gordon, and you have to fight a bunch of stuff, and then Joker, what was it? He shoots Batman with the Titan.
He shoots him with the Titan formula to make him like, I guess like kind of like Bane in a way, basically. Yeah, but Titan is the Bane, like Venom, but it's like even stronger, right?
Yeah. So Batman fought through it once he got shot through it, and it didn't affect him. Then Joker was like, I have no reason left to live, and he shoots himself with it. And then he turns into Titan Joker, which is like this huge, grotesque monster version of Joker.
It's crazy.
You fight Joker on the roof with police helicopters shining stuff on you. You take him out eventually, and then the police retake the asylum. Mm-hmm. And Joker is all messed up at the end of the game.
Oh, and he's busted up.
Yeah, he turns back to normal, and he's all just messed up. And the last thing you see in the game is, depending on what kind of ending, because I heard there are multiple.
There are. There's 3, and I don't know what triggers it. I heard somewhere that it was the difficulty of the game.
Huh. But like, so
if you play on easy, you get one. Normal, you get another one. Hard to play, you get another one.
Mm-hmm. So what it was is a crate of Titan floating in the ocean, and then you either have Scarecrow reaches up from the water and grabs it, or you have Bane, or somebody else.
I believe it might be Killer Croc.
Killer Croc, okay. And that kind of sets up later stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
What a terrific game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It defined superhero games for the rest of I guarantee the Spider-Man games that have come out, they're heavily inspired by the Arkham games.
Obviously inspired especially with combat.
Mm-hmm.
With you can tell that in the Amazing Spider-Man games, and obviously the PS4 games where it has the dodge mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
But what's cool about Spider-Man difference is that you don't do counter dodge, like you don't like dodge and counter like with Batman. And Spider-Man, you just dodge. Mm-hmm. But I'm not saying it's a big difference, but luckily people who have taken that formula of combat have changed it up a little bit.
Yeah,
where it doesn't feel like they just carbon copied it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's rare to see games back from PS3 era to still hold up to this day with combat.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously they tuned it up more and more with each game, but it's still I can still play Asylum and be happy just playing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really fun game. Like I said, the only thing is that like is just I think it works because with the whole like you kind of like stressed out playing it because it's such a cramped island.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's
It's
so much stuff.
Sometimes.
Yeah, and it's like every building looks the same. And I think it's also like the point you're in like a dirty looking Victorian almost hospital.
Yeah.
And
you see like just these lunatics running around.
It's just like
it's insane. It's so it makes you uncomfortable, and I like that.
Yeah,
it works great.
Were there any other DLCs besides that Joker thing?
So there was a I think it was just a few challenge maps, and because I replayed the Asylum and City on the PS4, like the Return to Arkham games.
That's what I played.
Which are I totally recommend getting those. The only problem is the Asylum doesn't look good on there because I'd say they really butchered it on there because it looks like they just put it in Unreal Engine 4 and that's it, and pooped up the frame rate and resolution because Batman looks weird. Joker, like the lighting on them looks off.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm sorry. What was your question again?
Were there any other DLC for?
Oh no, I think it was challenge maps, and for Xbox, you had that Joker one. Because what the challenge maps were, I think it was just a few extra maps, and there was one where you could just do the whole Scarecrow thing, where you fight the bone, like the skeletons or whatever.
Yeah.
No, and that was kind of it. You got 2 maps of that.
Yeah, you had the free DLC exclusive to the PlayStation 3 version of Batman Arkham Asylum, which allowed players to take control of the Joker and progress through similar challenges as Batman in the game's challenge mode.
Yeah.
And that's really all I have for.
I think they had themes as well. I know they had it on PS3. I know they had it on PS3, but I don't know about Xbox. They had like a Batman and a Joker theme.
That's cool.
That's all I remember.
I don't know anything else to talk about with Asylum. You want to rate the game out of 10?
I mean, do you have any issues with it?
That's a good thing, actually. We should talk about that issue.
Yeah, because I mean, we talked a lot about positives, and this game is like near perfect.
Yeah, I think the only maybe like nag I have about the game would, maybe be there's really not anything, but the way Batman runs is a little like choppy to me.
Yeah.
Kind of just runs like he's the like running in a different frame rate than the game's going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really notice that as much as you do. But I mean, I'd say if I have any complaint with the game, I would say right around the part where you go to the botanical gardens or what, like after that part where you fight like those 2 titans in there.
Yeah.
Like right after that part, I say the game kind of slows up a bit for me. And I would say like 2 of the boss fights feel like they're exactly the same. And that would be the Poison Ivy boss fight and the Harley Quinn one. Where you have them like up on the, like up looking down on you, and you're just fighting goons.
Yeah.
But at least Poison Ivy is slightly better because you do like the spray thing or what you use the what's that thing called where it looks like
explosive gel.
Explosive gel, exactly. So I mean, at least you have that part to it. But I mean, that's really only the complaints I have.
I thought of another one. Well, so you're talking about how the game kind of slowed down after that one part. Well, I think there were like parts throughout the game where it just seemed like I had to like turn the game off after once I got to a part, and I was like, I really don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it just loads. I mean, as it would, I guess it's realistic. There's so much happening. It's literally an asylum. like people taking over Asylum. But like, what was it? Right after you save, you do something. You have to go to the Arkham Mansion to find Dr. Young or something like that, and it's just like
the church or whatever.
I think so. Yeah.
It looks like a church kind of, but I think it's like a library or something. I know what you're talking about.
Right before that, like before you have to go to the mansion, right when it said I had to go to the mansion, I was like, "Oh man,
I don't feel like walking."
But I think that's also because that mansion part isn't one of my favorites throughout the game. So I think it was just because I was replaying the game. I was like, I really don't want to do that. So it wouldn't be bad for new players, but for me, it's Arkham Asylum is in my opinion, and this might be a little controversial, but hey, that's what we're about here on Extra Beef.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm just gonna say it. I think Arkham Asylum is in my opinion, the least replayable game out of the four.
Really? Okay.
It's in no way is it a bad game, and I will play it and enjoy it many times. But will I enjoy completely the replay? No.
Okay, I got you.
Which that could be said for every game in the series, because you won't have the same enjoyment as the first time you play it.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I would say we'll talk about that here in a minute. I think there's one game I could probably play it like twice in one day and still have just a great time. But I mean, I see where you're coming from, because obviously you're very limited with movement out of any other games, because you can't really glide. Obviously, you can't glide. You don't have the grapple boost. The only thing I'd say you have is really the zip line gun. That's really it. But yeah, I mean, I would probably be a big factor with me for replaying, because it's like, man, do I really want to because you really run around than anything.
Yeah, there's no side missions in Asylum, is there?
Yeah, which I mean, I'm okay with. Obviously it's the first game. And the expectations for this game were high. Or not high, but like, because there's never been a good 3D Batman game before that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
They had a lot of animated Batman games, but
I mean, some are okay. Like, there was good 2D ones. Like, I would say the Batman on NES 1989. That was a great game. Batman Returns on Super Nintendo, great beat 'em up. And I also played the adventures of Batman Robin on Super Nintendo and Genesis, and those are great games. So there was good Batman games, but just then you get into like PS1 era and Dreamcast, and they weren't good at all. So it felt good finally to see a good Batman PS1 game showing it's possible, to make great superhero games. Yeah.
And if Warner Brothers takes an example from the games and puts them into the movies, and their fans will be happy. I had to get a little bit of Warner Brothers stuff in.
Man, you got to punch Warner Brothers in the gut every
episode.
Every episode, we got to punch them. So, I mean, that's all I got to say. But before, what do you think about the Riddler trophies in this? Think they're good?
There were... let me see if I got this right. The Riddler trophies were in all of the games, are very annoying. In my opinion.
It depends. Okay. Some of them are like, I'd say it depends on games for me. It depends on which game.
Yeah.
Because some of them I love doing. Like, strangely, I love doing Asylum. I think Asylum might be my favorite doing them. Man.
I just think there's too many.
You feel like there's too many. Sometimes I do. I like the ones in Origins.
There was only one in
Origins. There's only one in Origin. Well, they have like the Enigma stuff.
Yeah. But,
and like you have to do that to get one Riddler trophy.
Yeah. But there were 240 trophies in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, which seems like a lot, but when you're just constant, I mean, because you pick them up throughout the game, while you're playing the story, you just walk across them.
Yeah,
and you can just find it. So it ain't that bad. I mean, it ain't that bad. And I just like it because I mean, you're already walking. and plus the place is kind of small, and you just go in different buildings, and it ain't too bad. If I had to like do one, if you said, okay, I'm gonna have to reset all your progress and you had to do one again, I would probably say Asylum is one I would do again, and because literally the magic it had with, especially with the scan ones, like where you're not picking up the trophies, you're just scanning the stuff.
Yeah,
is like great because it showed like, oh, these villains exist. Like there's that one you showed me with Penguin. You said like you never noticed that before.
I went into that office because it was just like an open room, and I went in there. Yeah. I looked around, and there's nothing in there. And I turned around, and there's a giant poster for the Penguin.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, so Penguin exists in this universe. Oh, there's a thing for Harvey Dent for mayor. And like his it has like the Two-Face thing.
His jail cell.
His jail cell. It showed. I think it had Calendar Man cell in there. There, but I don't remember. I know it had like Riddlers, and it's like, oh, this. After playing the game, it's like, oh, this is incredible. As I hope there's a sequel, and you see these villains are already here in this world. It's like, oh, okay. So let's just do it. And I can't stress enough how much it feels like a Batman the Animated Series episode.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, obviously, ignoring that we got the best voice actors for Batman and Joker, Mark Hamill and Henry. Oh my God, Kevin Conroy. Not Henry Conroy. Kevin Conroy.
Like almost all of the people listening just clicked off when you said that.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's like, he's not a true fan.
This guy.
And this guy. It's Landon Boost. What is he? Like, I mean, I think, doesn't the girl who voiced Harley Quinn, does she come back for a role?
For what?
The girl who voices Harley Quinn in the anime series, doesn't she come back for these games?
I don't know because it's Tara Strong that voices her, right?
Yeah, I think she does. I think she does.
That's Miss Minutes and what?
Yeah, I believe she came back to do Harley Quinn in these games. So, I mean, that was great. I mean, it feels like you're playing an episode or like a whole season, if you will.
Yeah, so, she did. I think she voiced somebody in Batman Animated Series.
So, I mean, great. I mean, that's all I have to say for Asylum. Great game. I'd say 8 or 9. That's how good those games are.
All right. I'm just making sure.
Not it's probably too high. I would say 8. I'd say.
What
about you though?
Hang on. She was voiced by. Why is it not telling me who? Hold on. Not telling me who voiced Harley Quinn in Batman the Animated Series. Here we go. That's not. It's really not telling me.
Oh well, we'll figure it out. Hopefully somebody will correct us, and we'll.
Arlene Sorkin.
Arlene Sorkin.
Arlene Sorkin.
Arlene. Okay.
I don't know if that's right, but that's what that says. But if I could rate Arkham Asylum out of 10, 8.5.
8.5. It's close. Like literally, I'm like still thinking if it's either 8 or 9. Like because there's no like 0.5 for me. It's either that or that.
Oh, I'm doing point. I'm doing 0.5.
I'm doing point. It's I'm gonna go with 8. I'm gonna go with 8.
All right. So general consensus 8.5.
Yeah. So off the city.
Yep. Moving into Batman Arkham City. You want me to go first, having introduced to this?
Yes.
All right. So I remember this clearly. Game came out in 2011, I think.
Ooh, golly.
It was 2011. It was like 2 years after Asylum, wasn't it?
Yeah, and by the way, before you get into this, they hinted at City back. I don't think no one found this out till like way later on.
Yeah, and
that Easter egg. So if you go into what's it called, like the library or whatever,
Yeah,
in
that's
that
where
church.
Dr. Young died.
Yeah, there's a wall there. It's like as soon as you walk in where Dr. Young died, take a left, spray gel that wall that's ahead of you. We do it multiple times. There's a door that and you can't see it in detective vision, by the way. So it's just like nobody found this out till like years later. I'd say like 5 years later.
I wonder how they found it out.
I
They're
think
just like
somebody was
so bored that they just started like trying to blow up a wall.
Yeah, I maybe somebody data mined it or something. They was like, "What's with this room in there? Let me find this." And they just did it and it worked. And you go in there and it says like, it's like you go in there, it's like an office and it shows like a map. I don't know if it was like the official map of the game, but it says like Arkham City stamped on it. And it's crazy. It's crazy that they were planning. I'm willing to bet they were planning on doing just 2 games. Games. I mean, obviously they left it open for more down the road, but
yeah.
But I think they're all like, hey, this first game is successful. We have a great story to tell for the second one already.
Yeah.
So hopefully this does well, so we can finish off what we were going to do. And obviously, as we were saying, the reviews were great. It made the money. So,
yeah,
Arkham City.
Arkham City. So I'll
Arkham City.
explain this. Yeah. So, like I said, I don't remember being introduced to Asylum, but I remember loving Asylum after I beat it and being mad that it was over and that there was another game out. Well, I knew that Batman Arkham City was coming out, and game came out, I think, in like October of 2011. And the year, I think I knew it was coming out, and I was excited. And I saw pictures and like stuff like Batman and Catwoman and black and white and stuff. I was like, oh, this looks like a really good game. And I guarantee my dad heard me saying that a lot because I get woken up at 12:45 around that.
Like midnight. Okay.
In the middle of the night, and it was my dad. I cut on my light in my room, and he was like, "Hey, so I just went to GameStop and for the opening night, and I got this." And he handed me Batman Arkham City, and like the instant joy that I felt, it was just like it was the greatest. And then I remember going to sleep and then getting up next day, immediately putting it in the PlayStation and playing it all day.
I would have been mad. Like, I would have been mad because I remember my dad. He would do something similar. He would like show a game to me. He got it like at night or whatever, but it would be like my bedtime or whatever, and I would just be so mad that I couldn't play. I'd hear him play it, and like because my bedroom, it was like near the living room.
Yeah. So
I could just hear him playing the game, and I would just be so mad, and I go to sleep.
Yeah. So, what was your introduction?
Okay, so I would say, I think mine's really simple. Like, I got the game. Like my dad got the game one day when we played it, but how I was even known about it, I'd say is very similar to your story. I was laying in my bed one night. I don't know what month. I'm guessing it was like the beginning of the month or whatever, because I'm about to say it here in a minute. But my dad walked in my room because I'm getting ready for bed. I'm going to end down. But I was like, hey, you want to see something real quick? And I was like, sure. He pulls out a Game Informer magazine. We all most of us
love it.
games. Yeah. And he showed me the cover of it. And it was all like, it showed, golly, I hate if no one's ever seen it because it's such a cool image. It was a picture of Batman, and it has Batman and Catwoman. Catwoman's like kind of leaning on him, and he has like her whip wrapped around his arm, and the name Batman Arkham City showed up, and I like flipped through the pages to see more pictures. It had like him on the gargoyle with the bloody nose, and like it's because all white and it looks so cool. And I not of course me being little, I'm like, oh, can we play it? And that's like, it's not out yet.
Yep.
So I had to wait. But I remember taking that magazine to school and just reading it, and I felt super edgy because it had blood in it. I I don't know if we were in the same class then, but I wonder if you ever saw me reading it in there.
You know, I have a really vague memory of you showing me that.
Yeah, like it was like I remember I brought it home. My mom found it in my bag. She got kind of mad at me because she's all like, because it's Batman with blood everywhere there. So, but that's really my introduction, and it was just. It was a memory I think about a lot because it was cool because that got me first in the gaming magazines, and I was excited to see Batman again, and I didn't even know what it was. I knew who the villain was, but I was excited.
Yeah. So here we go, a rundown of the story after Asylum with City. Start off. Let's see. So Hugo Strange, who is one of the main villains of this game, he's the one that was leading Arkham City, right?
Yeah. The city was made to put all inmates in there so they could like learn to be like civil or whatever.
Yeah, but obviously it wasn't going to happen.
Oh yeah, obviously I failed. I mean, you're putting like the three, like the biggest crime bosses go in there, and it's like,
turf war between Joker and Penguin and Two-Face.
Yeah, and okay.
But it starts off a bunch of news conferences and stuff. Bruce Wayne's like, "This is a criminal haven right in the heart of our once great city," and he's like, how can this be safe for the people of Gotham? And the beginning of that game is like one of my favorite openings to a game.
Oh ever. Yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite in the series.
I think it's just like it's showing flashbacks, and then it's showing like this white screen where it was like a
like the text and stuff. Yeah, and it's like Rocksteady Presents, and
you hear Bruce Wayne in the background. Or you hear Bruce Wayne talking to Hugo Strange, and Strange is like, he's telling his master plan. He's like, Protocol 10 will be my legacy, and all that. And he was like, we say capturing Bruce Wayne is so much easier than the Batman.
Yeah.
And he was like, you have to tear Arkham City down. It's out of control. And he was like, it said something. He was like, tear it down. It's my legacy, and a monument to your failure. I don't remember where it went, but it ended with him going, and I'll be a hero just like you, Batman. And that's immediately like,
and it puts Batman Arkham City, and it has the music. It's so good. And I got excited to be reading those lines because I just remember me playing it. I'm like, yes.
Right when he says, just like you, Batman, you're like, he knows Bruce Wayne's Batman. And then the game starts.
And everyone, like, Hugo Strange is like a public image to people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously every other villain is, but he's like one that like people talk to him and they can like believe him in a way. You know what I'm saying?
He's known by two names. People, they call him Dr. Hugo Strange or Professor Hugo Strange. And obviously they couldn't call him Dr. Strange because that was taken.
Dr. Strange, yeah.
I mean, that's technically who he is, though.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And literally, what's crazy about this is that it kind of shows you how crazy all this is on a human level. Because I mean, you're Bruce Wayne, and you're literally obviously Bruce Wayne can fight and everything.
Yeah,
but like it's like he's in handcuffs and stuff, and you
show
see,
that
like,
he can fight though.
Yeah, you see all this going on, and it's like, man, what if like a civilian got in here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it just shows the big impact, how big this thing is. It's great.
Mm-hmm. But to continue, Bruce Wayne is held captive, but I mean, obviously not for long because then he escapes, and then Penguin finds him at first, but then he escapes from him. Did you know that? I don't know if you knew this. You probably do. The game's been out for a long time. That once you like you're Bruce Wayne, you break out of the handcuffs and fight all Penguin's guys after you break Penguin's hand or whatever.
Yeah.
He's up against the door. You can go over there and punch him and knock him out.
Yeah. I did that. I do that like every time.
Yeah, it's fun.
Did you know though that Penguin, I believe, is voiced by Tom Kenny, who voices SpongeBob?
Really?
Yeah, you know that?
I did not for that.
Yeah.
But to continue on, Batman goes and he's like, we got to find out what Protocol 10 is. And he goes and he finds out by radio communications that Two-Face has kidnapped Catwoman in the courthouse. And he goes and saves her. Or technically, she kind of saves herself.
Yeah.
And then,
isn't Protocol 10 be like launched like that night?
Yeah, 10 hours.
Because mostly here it's like Protocol 10 will be launched in 6 hours. Or,
the first thing you hear is Protocol 10 will commence in 10 hours. And that was like right at the beginning of the game. Yeah. And then eventually it goes down to like 9, 8, and then it goes to 6, 5. It skips 7. 6, 5.
It skips 7.
Yeah. And I remember getting to like 30 minutes and then it happened. But you save Catwoman. She almost gets shot by a sniper who we find out is the Joker. But he's sick. He's coughing. It's real bad. Meant to be assumed that it was the Titan that happened to him in Asylum.
Yeah.
But,
things you don't even know if he's even really sick yet.
Yeah,
everybody kind of alludes like, Joker ain't really around right now, but he'll get you, Batman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's all like, you kind of he leaves up and asks to see himself, like, what in the world, that's kind of weird. Joker likes making an entrance and stuff, or maybe he's holding something back or whatever.
Yeah.
And not to interrupt you or anything, but like, literally, as soon as you get on top of the Ace Chemicals building and you put on the bat suit and stuff, and as soon as you hear that Catwoman, you're off. You know what I'm saying? You are surrounded by this open world.
Mm-hmm.
You can, and just the gliding is so great in this game, and you can dive, and then later on you get this upgrade where you can like boost your grapple and just take off that way. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, it's a lot more freedom than it was in the Asylum. Not as much freedom, but more.
Yeah. Yeah, at least they got the gliding way better in this game. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, it felt better.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, back to what you were saying.
Yeah, you go track down Joker. He's at the steel mill. You go and you got to fight Mr. Hammer before you get to Joker, right? Who is
yes, a little mini boss fight.
He's one part of two conjoined twins who are now separately known as Mr. Hammer and the other one, is it Mr. Sickle or is it just Sickle?
I think it's Mr. Sickle.
Okay, it's Mr. Hammer and Mr. Sickle, who, obviously, Hammer and Sickle, Russian communist stuff. And because they are Russian. And you fight him and you go up there. And after you do a bunch of other stuff, because apparently some doctors are trying to find a cure for the Joker because he's real sick and he's dying. Yeah. And you go up there into the Joker's office, and Harley Quinn's there with Joker's dead body. And she's crying. You hear the flat line of the heartbeat monitor. And this whole thing goes on where Batman's like, "Get out of my way, Quinn." And she was like, "You pounded him for years, beat him to a pulp for what? Why are you so mean?" All that. And then Joker sneaks up on him from behind and says, "Surprise! You fell for the old fake Joker gag, Batman." And then Batman gets injected with Joker's contaminated blood. Yeah. And then you go to find Mr. Freeze after this, who is... was he? Is he working on the cure?
He was... Yeah, he was going to make a cure for him, but like he got like kidnapped or whatever by Penguin. Yeah, and or something like
Penguin. Yeah,
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, they had him working on a cure, but he went over.
He had a cure, but it was like taken from him or something like that.
Yeah, and found out Penguin kidnapped him, so you go to the museum and you fight Penguin in the Iceberg Lounge, and then you got to fight Solomon Grundy. That's a
great boss fight.
Yeah, I beat it in like 20 seconds. It's just like really easy once you play it for the second time. First time it was really hard.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you do that. You get some kind of stuff. You free Mr. Freeze, and then he goes to his lab, and you have to go get the blood of Ra's al Ghul, because he's immortal, and it's some kind of thing. I don't really remember, but basically, you get the blood after you do all this stuff, and you give it to Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze creates 2 vials of the cure, takes one out, and then he destroys it, and then you have to fight Mr. Freeze. And then all of a sudden, everything's okay after that. I'm like, just really confused about why. But like, it was really random. You had to fight him, and it was like kind of difficult. And then afterwards, they're just sitting there talking.
Yeah, I guess. Batman almost like. Batman almost like took out. He kind of like. Oh, he almost took him out. And Mr. Freeze like, okay, fine, whatever. Here's the cure. Yeah. And he opens up the safe, and it's gone.
Yep, the cure was gone, and Harley Quinn took it. Is what I think they said in the game.
Yeah.
But so you go. Oh, what the heck happened after that?
Then I don't remember fully in order, but I know at some point you go to the you get to the top of the Hugo Strange's tower.
That's at the end of the game.
Okay.
You go and she takes the cure, and so you have to go trek it down. And I'm just gonna like speed through this, but like, Joker.
Yes. Okay, you go back to the steel mill.
To
go like get it or whatever, because Batman's dying as well. We ought to point out, because he has Joker's blood in him. That's poisoned already. So
he only had like maximum of a couple hours, maybe. And he goes to find Joker, and all of a sudden you see, I think on a TV, comes up, Joker's fine. Doesn't look the way he did earlier, where his face isn't all messed up and
he looks.
He looked like Joker. He looked normal.
Yeah.
Bright colors and everything. And so you're sitting here like, what? But then
he's like,
I noticed
okay, I guess you got a cure.
Throughout the game, they set up the idea of Clayface being Joker, which happens at the end, people. But there was that one thing. You're going to save the doctor right when you get to the steel mill for the very first time, and you hear Harley Quinn say, "Oh, Mr. J, look at you. You look perfect." Oh, wait, that isn't you, is it? Is what she says. And, which is a nod to it. And also on that TV, when he looks normal and he's talking, you can hear in the background somebody cough and the camera shakes. And so Joker was in the background of that whenever Clayface, which I thought was pretty cool. But
and plus that one scene of them. Actually, we're going to go up to that part.
Yeah, we're right there.
So plus that scene where it's like that part. It has a little cut scene.
Is it where he's putting lipstick and then he turns around, but his reflection doesn't turn around?
The reflection looks like the sick Joker.
Yeah.
Then he turns around and it's like, the colorful one or whatever.
Yeah, and plus his reflection didn't move whenever he turned around.
Yeah.
I noticed.
Yeah. He kind of just stands up, and the one Joker just turns around.
Yeah. But you go there and you fight Joker, and
Joker with clothes.
Yeah, and then he drops the roof on you, basically. And but meanwhile, throughout all of this, you're doing some kind of like Catwoman side mission type thing.
Sometimes every time Batman gets like knocked out or any other type of thing, it switches over to Catwoman, and he plays her for a minute, which those are great scenes too.
Yeah, I thought those were like a DLC during the game, but now it's like integrated into the game. I remember it being a DLC.
Well, so how's this? Because I've played it where it doesn't even do the Catwoman stuff. Because first time I played it, because I think it was like. Because it was like if you like pre-ordered or whatever, you got it with it. But then you go to then later on I bought like a used copy of it one day, and it was just like, and it just wasn't there. I'm like, I was like, man, I really remember playing Catwoman in this game. I was like, oh, I guess it was just the open world part. No, you missed like I'd say maybe 2 hours of story. or a because there's like what 4 missions.
Yeah, but they're pretty quick though.
Yeah, I'm saying they're like 30 minutes each, and you get like come on, it's like 2 hours.
Yeah, but
But and so I mean, if you miss it, you don't miss a big chunk of the game. It's just I say if you have it, it just explains stuff better.
Yeah, but Catwoman eventually, I think it was cool. She goes to steal some jewels and stuff after some obstacles, and she's leaving Arkham City, and she sees Batman's body laying underneath the rubble on the TV. She looks over and she goes, "Come on, all you gotta do is walk out those doors and leave Arkham City." And then she looks over and she was like, "But I gotta say, should I save Batman?" So you have the choice. If you go and leave Arkham City,
I've left.
Yeah, which is what I did the first time. It starts going. It goes to the. Well, no, I just thought that was what she would do, and so the credits start rolling, and you hear in the background, I assume what would be the future, like what happened after you.
Yeah, like,
did
like
that.
a what if.
Yeah, and it's Oracle asking for help because Bruce Wayne's dead. Commissioner Gordon's dead. Bale. Yeah, and Joker's taken over Wayne Manor and everything, and he's just taken over everything. And then the credits,
sad.
Yeah,
the
credits end, and then it rewinds the game, and Catwoman's going backwards down the stairs. Everything it stops, and it's like, okay, you make the decision to do. You made the right choice this time. Yeah. But I was always wondering what happens.
It won't let you go out if you do it again. It won't let you go out.
Funny, just leave again.
Oh, well, no, I think it. Yeah, okay, never mind. You can go out. It does it again, but then it just like rewinds. It doesn't do like the whole credit scene.
Oh, but yeah, and then she goes saves Batman. Batman goes out. Protocol 10 has been commenced. The Arkham is getting blown up. Arkham City's getting blown up, and inmates are dying, and it's a problem. And so you go and you find Hugo Strange and take him out. You find him and he tell him to shut down Protocol 10. I think he does it. I don't remember. But then at the end, Hugo Strange gets stabbed by Ra's al Ghul, and turns out he was the mastermind behind most of the game. And and then there wasn't really a boss fight with him. There was one earlier in the game, but
that's a great boss fight. By the way, I will point out, but we all know what the best is.
Yeah. Hugo Strange says activate Protocol 11, and then he said password or code word Wayne, and then the place like basically blows up, and Ra's al Ghul dies. Quotation marks.
Yeah.
And
question mark. Yeah.
And you gotta go take down Joker, who dies at the end of it. You take down Clayface, who is the imposter Joker.
Yeah, Clayface is the final boss.
Batman breaks the cure, or he drops. I don't know what happened. I think he broke it.
No, okay, so he's holding the cure, and after you beat Clayface and everything, he holds the cure, and there's like this him and Joker have this like whole monologue or whatever, and then like he holds it, and then Batman jumps down, or not Batman, sorry, Joker jumps down, stabs Batman right in like the shoulder or whatever, and by that he drops the cure.
Yeah, but before that, Batman took some part of the cure.
Yeah. He took like half of it or whatever.
Yeah. And Joker tried to like lick it off the floor or whatever, and then Joker dies with a smile on his face, as he should.
What? Joker? Oh yeah, I remember. I was shocked as a kid. I was like.
I cried.
Because back when being a kid, Joker is like the only bad guy. Yeah. I was like, well, that's it. Okay, that's the end.
Yep. And then Harley Quinn was shocked when it showed Batman carried his body out and laid it on the car, and then Commissioner Gordon was like, "What happened in there, Batman?" And Batman just leaves.
He just leaves
because he lost. I mean, even though Joker was a bad guy, he was a big part of Batman. He was. The yin to Batman's yang.
Yeah, I would say, and I think they said this in like Arkham Knight, or not Arkham Knight. Sorry, what's it called? Killing Joke. He said like in some ways he's kind of like a friend to him. Like he's a big part of Batman, and I think I believe that Batman was the one. He was really hurt out of anybody,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he was glad that like Joker's not hurting people no more. But like,
Mhm.
it was just I don't know. I think it really just shocked him too because
Yeah.
he was willing to save him. And as he said, he's like after everything you've done because he kills Talia.
Mhm.
He does a bunch of things and he's all like, I would have saved you.
Yeah, and then Joker said, like something after that. He's like, "No, that's funny" or something like that. And then
he does.
Yeah.
So,
and then there was a DLC for City. Harley Quinn's Revenge.
Harley Quinn's Revenge. Yes, I played it once.
Yeah, me too.
Back on the Return to Arkham, and
I plan on playing it again.
It was okay.
Yeah,
this was back when I played the City 3 months ago. I played it and I liked it.
It was just Harley Quinn being sad that Joker's dead and wanting revenge on Batman.
He plays Robin the whole time. Yeah. He plays Batman in a couple sections, but he plays Robin.
Yeah, and it's its own thing. But
yeah, it's cool. If you want a little epilogue, then that's it for you.
Yeah, and that's all I got for City to talk about for that.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that longer than we talked about.
Well, I mean, good. I mean, I would say good reason too, at least for me, because I mean, this is my favorite out of any of them. Purely, I said we said Asylum had like great boss fights. This one somehow has better, but I feel like every boss fight in the game is great. And I want to take a minute here, and I want to talk about the Mr. Freeze boss fight and how perfect. And you know what I'm saying? Because that one you really have to like use your head of how to. Because every time especially on hard mode, because you have to like think of more ways to do it. Because let's say you crouch behind him and take him out that way. Okay, he types in on like a keypad, on his arm, and now he has like a robot flying behind him. So if you sneak up behind him, he's gonna get you. Yeah,
he adapts to what you're doing.
He adapts to what you're doing, and I love that boss fight. It's so good.
I think I took him down by when I beat the game earlier this weekend. I took him down by first shooting the electric gun or whatever at one of the generators, and it pulled him to it, and I beat him up. Then the second time I stuck behind him, and then I blew up a wall on his face. Yeah, and then I got him. And then I got him from the grate. And that's all.
Yeah, it's a great. I don't know what it is about that boss fight, but I just love it. I mean, that's my favorite out of the whole series. Do you like that boss fight a lot? Like, is it your favorite?
It's not my favorite. No, I'll tell you what my favorite is. My favorite is not what you'll expect.
Oh, it's not what I would expect. Oh, okay. Is it in this game or not?
No.
Oh, okay. It's later. Okay. Oh, well, I think I know what it is because
no, you don't.
I like that one. I think I like that one too.
No, you don't.
So I love the Mr. Freeze boss fight. Fight.
To save time,
I just want to take a minute and just talk about it because I really love that boss fight. Again, as I said with the Asylum, I sometimes find myself replaying the game just so I can get up to that boss fight. And I'll have a save data on there in case I just want to play it because I love it that much.
I think to save time, let's not really talk about like we did with Asylum, like issues that we had and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because that's save some time.
Quickly, I just want to say the biggest issue I have for this game is almost nothing. I say some gadgets I don't really like that much, like the freeze grenade.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't care. Like, only time I did that was just to get like a Riddler trophy. I don't
like how the gadgets are like what buttons you have to press. You have to press like both up and right to get to like one of them, and like it's just like a lot in the middle of a fight.
Well, they have those quick select ones where you do like R1 in circle or whatever.
Yeah.
sure, but I mean, I rarely use gadgets. The only one I use, I find myself using, is the batarang and the grapple hook, just so I can clothesline them.
Yeah,
that's really it.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, it's almost the game's almost perfect because in challenge maps you get to play as more characters like Robin, Nightwing, Catwoman. I mean, I think those were DLC you had to buy. I think Robin and Nightwing were. So, it was great though. That's all. That's really all I have to say for City. I'll give it that. I mean, City's like a 9 or a 10 for me.
Yeah. I think I'd give City a 9.
I mean, I have to give it a 9 because it takes everything from Asylum, improves on it, and doubles on it.
Yeah, and plus it's a story we've never seen in anything Batman. Like them sectioning off a part of the city to make it basically the new Asylum.
Yeah, I mean, this ain't the first Joker has died because obviously we had Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns come out before. So killing Joker's not a new thing. It's just, but for some reason, it's still crazy they did that. You know what I'm saying? On the second game, that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
we didn't know that there would be another 2 after that.
At the time, it was kind of like up in the air if like a third one would even come out. Yeah, kind of. Because I mean, again, at this time, I don't know about you, but I wasn't really following gaming news. It's just superhero game came out or a game came out. Oh, I would like to have that, please. That's kind of it. So I didn't really look around. It's like, is there going to be another Batman Arkham game? And I remember people asking that question, and I kind of wondered it myself, just saying like, "Oh, Joker's dead. What can you do for the next game?" And it was kind of just up in the air for a good while, I would say.
Yeah, and then
2011. This game came out in 2011, right?
Yeah, said he did. But then,
so we had like,
on October 25th of 2013, a different video game company, WB Games Montreal, made the third game in the series titled Batman Arkham Origins, which was a prequel to Asylum.
I never played. I mean, I obviously I played it now.
Yeah, I was about to say, you never played it. You just...
it's like, man, why are you even here? No, I mean, I even played it before. Recently playing it, I didn't play it when it first came out.
Yeah, I didn't either. So I guess we have the same kind of introduction.
Not many people did actually. Yeah, it came out literally at the wrong time. Because not that it was too fast or it was too late where people were out of it.
It was 2 years later, just like it was with City.
Yeah, but next gen consoles came out, and they were getting ready to come out, and everybody's trying their best not to buy a game. They're saving up for a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Yeah. So,
well, no, not really. Well, hang on. Right? It came out in 2013. But I distinctly remember Arkham. Whoa, hold on, sorry about that. Dog's trying to walk by. I distinctly remember Arkham Knight being one of the launch games for PS4. I thought
it probably came out like a year later or something. It wasn't like day one launch. It might have been like launch window, but I know because Arkham Knight came out 2015.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I know PS4, obviously Xbox, they came out into 2013. Because Christmas and everything. Yeah.
We're getting off track though. We should probably get back to it.
Yeah. So anyways, I didn't play it at launch. Did you? Or did you get it?
I didn't.
Or did you skip it and play it tonight?
No, this is another game that I don't remember, just like with Asylum and how I was introduced to it. And I also don't remember half the stuff that happens in the game because it's been so long since I played it. I distinctly remember being frustrated doing the Deathstroke boss battle.
Yeah,
and I remember Joker, but turning out to be Black Mask, and I remember the Bane boss battles.
Yeah,
that's it.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be able to explain the rundown here. So this might be a quick.
This is more of a me type of thing since I replayed the whole game on PlayStation Now, which was awful. I had to stream it.
Yeah, so it's bad.
Okay.
But,
So
explain away.
I'd say the big. I'd say another reason why not many people played this game was because it was a prequel, and they wanted to see what happened next instead of just what happened before. But but anyway, and I would say the biggest thing with this game is that Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill don't go back for the roles in this. They get. I don't remember who they get for Batman, but they got Troy Baker as Joker, which I think he does pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I enjoy his work with Joel and Last of Us and everything else. So, anyways, continue. So this is a whole prequel story. It takes place on Christmas Eve. Batman is known that there is a big outbreak at Blackgate Prison.
Now, also note that this is like Batman's early years.
Yeah,
at least
he
even
he's been Batman for what, a year?
I think
a half.
Yeah,
he's been a year and a half, something like that. So he goes out. So he's told that this is more brutal Batman. So he's more like he doesn't listen to what Alfred's saying. He kind of just does his own thing. So, and that's kind of like the big lesson in this game that Batman learns is just like, you got to work together more,
Yeah.
So, anyways, he's told that there's a big outbreak at Blackgate Prison. Batman goes there, obviously, try to stop it. And he sees that the villain Black Mask is there along with Killer Croc and everything.
The less mutated Killer Croc.
Yeah, less mutated. He looks more human. And I always thought it was weird. I didn't even know that was even a thing throughout the games at the time. Because Killer Croc looks the same in Asylum City. And I'm like, prequel. I'm like, man, why does he look different here? Because I didn't know he was like a human turned into a crocodile.
Yeah.
I just thought he was I thought it was more like a Hulk thing.
That's why in Arkham Knight, they explain that in Arkham Knight. Yeah,
he's just full on. He's more.
This is skipping ahead a little bit, but did you ever play the Season of Infamy expansion?
Yeah, okay. But I literally played all of them besides strangely the Mr. Freeze one.
That one was good.
Well, no, I did play it. I played them all. I did play them all. I forgot I did. So yes, I did play those.
All right, you continue now. Back to origin.
So Batman, Black Mask escapes, but Batman goes after Killer Croc. And a good fight scene. By the way, the combat in this game, great as always. Same thing with Asylum City. But later on, they add these cool shock gloves that you get from the Electrocutioner, and it adds a cool spin on it. I like using those things. Anyways, you fight Killer Croc, and he mentions something about you're not gonna make it tonight because of the assassins Black Mask has hired. And he's like, what assassins? And there's this whole scene, And then later on, Batman goes back to the Batcave to find the 7 assassins, which I'm probably going to screw this up here. And the part of the group is Deathstroke, Deadshot, Firefly, Copperhead, Bane, Electrocutioner, and I can't think of the last one.
And there's 2 more.
There's 2 more? I thought there was 7.
There's either 2 or it might be 1 more, but I'm pretty sure it's 2.
It has to be 1 more.
I thought it was Shiva and
Shiva. That's who it is.
And what about Anarchy? He wasn't one of them?
No, Anarchy wasn't one of them. Anarchy was wanting to do his own thing. Anarchy wanted to take out the assassins themselves because they thought Batman was going too easy on them.
Oh, well. See, that's how much I don't remember from them.
Yeah. So Anarchy's in it though. You're right. Yeah, Anarchy is a big threat.
Anarchy for my CW fans out there. Lonnie Machin. He was in Arrow. For a little bit, season 4. He worked with Damien Dark.
That
was a good Anarchy. They did a good one on Arrow. He was on there for a few episodes.
Do you want to hear a little, not a fun fact, but you want to hear something crazy? Originally, the leader of the Anarchy group in these games was supposed to be the son of the Joker, but WB said no. No. We're not doing that. There were WB Games or someone at Warner Brothers said no.
Probably just Warner Brothers in general.
Yeah, which I thought would have been interesting. But anyways, so he goes to the night, taking out the assassins. He goes. I'm a butcher of what order this is in, but I'll try my best.
You don't have to do it as a necessary order. You can just
So at one point, Batman goes. He goes after a villain called the Penguin. Penguin, you beat a Penguin a bit, and then you find yourself fighting Deathstroke.
Oh, it was horrible.
Was this the one you're talking about as your favorite, or no?
No. Not
Oh, this wasn't it? Okay, never mind. I have no idea then, because I thought this was it, because this is like my second favorite. I like this boss fight. And it is hard. I even now I find myself dying at least once with it. Great boss fight. But then later on, you go on and you try to find like Black Mask and stuff.
Yeah.
And you find him, and then come to find out, it's a new guy called the Joker, and he's taken over all of Black Mask's stuff, and he's the one that's hired the assassins. And so this is a new villain to Batman.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit disappointed the first time I saw this reveal. Not that I wasn't happy to see a Joker, but I just wanted Batman. I just wanted Black Mask to be the villain.
I give props to this, even though I was mad they didn't have the same voice actor. The Joker design in that game I like it better than the other games.
That I always hear that, but I like Asylum and City's designs better.
I think the Joker on there he just looked more normal. I mean, Joker would be normal. He's a normal person. He's just got typically altered skin.
Yeah, which he
wouldn't have a really long nose and long chin. Like the one in the Asylum had a long chin. Dude,
that chin he has is like I always want to grab like a tape measure and measure that chin he has. Like you can poke an eye out with it.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people agreeing with you, saying that's the best Joker design. So maybe I'm in the minority or something, or I just, everybody just agrees that Origins is the best. Anyways, you go on, and then you have I believe you have a fight with Copperhead. Copperhead at some point. Yeah, it's like the next boss fight. Fight Copperhead to get to fight you, because you find Black Mask there. He's being tortured or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And take out Copperhead, she poisons you, and Alfred sends you a cure, and you fight her. And then you're getting information from her. You find out that the whole group is supposed to have a meeting sometime soon. And the whole assassins are supposed to have a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
By Batman learning this information, he puts out the electrocutioner shock frequency or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably saying it completely wrong, but that's what he does.
Yeah.
And he finds out where the location is. You go through this big building thing where they all are, and so Batman's in there. Joker kills the electrocutioner. He throws him out a window.
Mm-hmm.
By him falling in front of Batman, Batman grabs his gloves, and you can start using that for combat. Go up this whole building. And then you fight Bane. And that's a good boss fight as well.
Yeah.
You fight Bane.
The Arkham Origins seemed like a boss fight game. Most of the game was boss fight.
Yeah, you got a lot. Yeah, you get a lot of boss fights in it. I'm really just talking about how the boss fights are let up almost for story. Because I think the story in this game is okay. It's still good. It's just okay. I mean,
it's your classic Batman story.
Villains are out. Batman has to beat him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So where was I? Yeah. So he fights Bane, and Joker falls off the building. He doesn't try to, excuse me, but he doesn't try to commit suicide or anything. But he just he explodes the building that they're on, and he falls off.
Yeah.
And Batman jumps down and saves him. And then at that point, that's when Joker kind of falls, not fall in love, but he kind of just falls for Batman. He gets very intrigued by him.
Yeah.
Because Joker is already doing terrible things, and he doesn't understand. He's like, why did you save me? I'm trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they fall out of the building, and Joker gets sent to the not Arkham Asylum because it doesn't open yet. He gets sent to jail, and there is this whole scene which I think is great, where he's in a chair or whatever,
mm-hmm.
and Dr. Harley Quinzel is interviewing him, and he talks to kind of his origin story.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense to me, but
which one? His origin story?
Yeah, where he was the Red Hood or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, huh? Like how? Because the only Red Hood we know about in the Arkham games is Jason Todd, the Red Hood. And how? So we saying that Joker was the Red Hood before Jason Todd?
Yes. That's been a thing sometimes. Where Joker was the original Red Hood, because they mentioned that in probably the best the best Batman animated movie, Arkham Under the Red Hood.
And Red Hood in that movie was voiced by a guy who just voiced. He played in a show, like a 15-season show called Supernatural that I watched, but he also voiced Batman in a new animated movie called The Long Halloween Part 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like, there's that whole scene in Arkham Knight where he's because Batman sees like Red Hood, because he goes by the name Red Hood. Batman says, "Okay, something Joker has to involve with this," and also Joker's all like, "No, it's super funny when it says like, when I wore that suit, it was classy." See, but yeah, it's not him or whatever. But like I like that Red Hood outfit a lot though. It's like a red cape, it's like a red dome, and it's like a suit. I always thought that outfit looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, and so come to find out, he's like, what's crazy because he blames Batman for his transformation. So that's why he has all the assassins. More like it's kind of like a little bit like a revenge plot in a way.
Yeah.
Hey, and so what happened is, obviously that's what happened. It's like the crazy part is I don't even know his name or know their name. And Harley thinks he's talking about her. I mean, so he kind of just falls. She falls in love with him.
Yeah.
And then it kind of shows Batman's origin story at the same time while Joker is telling his, and we all know Batman's origin story.
Mm-hmm.
So then you go through. You try to go back to the Batcave at one point, and you go across the bridge, and then Firefly stops you in your tracks. He burns like the whole bridge. You fight him there. Good boss fight as well.
Yeah.
But at some point it's like I can't remember what happens. Even though I literally just played this game like last week. You go up to Bane or something, or like you go to Bane's hideout for some reason, and then it's revealed that Bane finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, or Batman is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh dang!" Batman's like, "Oh crap! I have to, He calls Alfred. He's like, "Alfred, get out of there!" And you hear like just explosions, and you hear Bane. He's like, "Where are you, Batman?" So Batman goes back to the Batcave, finds Alfred there, almost dead.
That was really sad.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was like, crap, dang, I don't know why I thought Alfred was going to die. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's a prequel.
Yeah, he's in the other games.
It's a prequel. So that happens, and then Batman kind of like learns like, hey, we gotta work together, Yeah. Then you have the final fight with I believe like Deadshot and all the other assassins. They're like kind of like side missions, correct?
Yeah.
From what I because I didn't do all the side missions. I did a few. But just so I can get, but I mostly was just focusing on the story for this.
Mm-hmm.
And so Batman goes off the Joker again, and Joker escapes. And then there's the final boss fight is with Bane, and he kind of just, I didn't like this boss. No, it was a good boss fight, but I didn't like the way Bane looked. He looked kind of weird. Here,
the one where he was like he had no mask on or whatever. He was like
no mask, and his face got like it looked weird.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool because he had like sneak around, do the explosive deal on some walls, knock them out.
Yeah.
So you do all that, and then Joker kind of has Gordon up on like a chair, kind of like an asylum in a way.
Yeah.
Oh no! This is what it is. Joker sits. He has Gordon captured. Joker sits in like an electric chair. Oh no! Oh my gosh! Okay, so Gordon and Joker are both sitting in electric chairs, and he says, "This is what you need to do. You need to no. Oh my! I'm so sorry. Joker's sitting in an electric chair. Joker's sitting in an electric chair, and he says, "Okay, this is how we're gonna do this. You either kill Bane." let me live, or you don't kill Bane and I die. But if you don't do it, I'm gonna shoot Gordon. That's it. Everybody. Okay. So that's that. Batman, he kills Bane, and then Joker is all like, okay.
He doesn't kill Bane.
He lives. Well, he kills him kinda. He like kills him where he's almost dead.
And he lost his memory of Bruce being Batman.
Well, this is what happens. You knock him out because he doesn't even like turn big yet. You almost like kill him or whatever, and then Joker runs off, and Gordon's like still there.
You stop his heart.
Yeah. You revive it. Yeah, that's what it is. You revive his heart with the shot gloves right after. Then he gets like bigger, and then you have that whole boss fight. Then he loses the memory of him being Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And then at the very end, you fight Joker in this chapel or whatever, this church, and fight him. And then he's all like, "Oh, you're going to kill me now," or whatever. He's like, "No, I'm not going to do it." Yeah. And then he gets off to jail, and that's the game. That took longer than it needed to.
It took a long time. And then there was a DLC called Cold Heart. Was that what it was?
I didn't play that.
I never played it, but I heard it was really good.
Yeah, I did hear it was good. I saw what it was. Yes.
But
and it takes place like Christmas night. It takes place like the next day.
I think so.
Yeah. So.
But
Batman flopped in those 2 days.
Yeah. We don't really have time to get into issues and stuff, so just to skip past that. But like, what would you rate this game?
I would say I'd rate it like a 7 or 6.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, the biggest issue I have with the game is just the story. It's kind of just boring, and I don't like the side stuff much.
I'd say 7 too.
Okay, Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight.
I was at the midnight launch of this game, and it was really cool because it was kind of like embarrassing too, because they had like a Batman rap battle, and my brother's probably gonna kill me, but my little brother Noah, he like participated in it. And him being like a little kid, it was like, obviously it was cute, but like everyone, like grown men, it was crazy. Hey, you feel like Batman, I would probably sing a rap about Spider-Man if I could, if I could carry a rhyme. But like grown men, my little brother, we're all just rapping about Batman. They had Batman trivia where you like won posters. I still have some hanging up. I still have some hanging up in my room. Still, it's like Batman going up against the Arkham Knight, and then Batman with the Batmobile. It was great. Everybody was excited. Everybody was getting, people were getting collector's editions and stuff. I was jealous because I wanted one because it came because you had that statue of Batman and stuff, and I wanted the we just got the regular game, and I got home and I played. I'd say about an hour of it. And then I had to go to bed because I had like school the next day.
My introduction to the game was I rented a movie off of Redbox, and you know how it plays like previews before it or stuff like that. Yeah. Well, this was a horror movie, and during one of the previews, there was this thing popped up, and it was as a bridge at nighttime, and it looked real. And it was the cinematic trailer for Arkham Knight.
Yeah, yes, because I remember seeing that. I don't know where that was revealed at, because that was kind of my first knowing of, this game's coming out.
Yeah.
Get ready.
I didn't really like care for it. I wasn't a huge Arkham fan. Once Knight came out, then I replayed the games. I was like, okay, I love this series. Yeah. But Arkham Knight, I came out of my room one day. My dad called me. He was in the kitchen, and he was like, "Hey, Darian, come here." And I walked out, and lo and behold, there was a PS4 sitting on the table with Arkham Knight and like a few other games with it, which was like the greatest surprise ever.
Yours is even better because you got like a PS4 that day as well.
Yeah, and that was so I got to play it. That was the very first game I played on PS4 was Angry Birds Star Wars because it was the quickest one that downloaded. But
yes,
But
as anyone should.
yeah, but then second was Arkham Knight, like immediately after it finished downloading, and oh, man, it was so good, and it, in my opinion, still so good. It's what I want from a Batman game. It looks good. It just plays good. I don't know, good.
Replaying the game on PS5, which doesn't have any upgrades, by the way. I'd say it just holds that lock 30 better, I guess. Yeah. It's still a good looking game. This is a game that came out, 2015?
Yeah.
I mean, more than 5 years later, it still looks incredible.
It does.
And
but
that looks great. The details on the suit look great.
Oh my gosh. But here's the rundown. This is the direct sequel from City, not Origins, because Origins was a prequel. But here we go. Start off, you get to personally burn Joker's body.
Yes.
Which, like, yeah, okay. And then you hear a monologue from Commissioner Gordon saying crime fell in the city, but he's waiting for someone to start another war. And turns out the person to start the war is the Scarecrow. Mm-hmm. He attacks a diner, and he comes on the screen in one of my favorite messages by a villain in a game so far. He comes up and he goes, "This latest demonstration used just 5 ounces of my latest toxin. Tomorrow, this will seem like child's play. Gotham, this is your only warning." And he looks up at the camera, and you see his new design. And
he's messed up because of like Killer Croc and stuff.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like, but
I wasn't expecting you to do crow noses. I was like, what is that?
Real quick, back in City, there was an Easter egg. If you go on top of a bridge, you can find Scarecrow's mask.
No. Yeah. On the bridge, you find the mask. Do you do the
boat? You can go down to the boat too. Yeah.
Yeah. You see that guy there?
He's experimenting on people.
Yeah. I wonder if that was like the new toxin he was working on.
Could be. He maybe used the Titan to do that. But, yeah. So the Scarecrow in this game looks fantastic. It's my favorite Scarecrow design.
Yeah, I like it. I used to hate it. When I didn't hate it, but I just thought the other one looked better. Mm-hmm. But then, like, playing this game, I'm like, man, now it's freaking cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't mind if he had, like, a scythe as a weapon.
Yeah, I always wish they kind of did the scythe to kind of make him look a little bit more threatening. Because the only thing he has was those, obviously, the
syringes.
Yeah, the syringes. So I was always hoping they would do more of that. Like do the scythe with it, but I mean, it still looks threatening, you know.
Yep. But anyway, they evacuate Gotham. He's like, there were 10, I don't know how many million people were in Gotham, is what he said. And but he was like, no, there's not so many. Like, whole city's almost evacuated besides the criminals. Penguin and Two-Face teamed up, which is not good. And
this is crazy.
Joker's still dead. Harley Quinn's out there doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And turns out that there were people that were injected with Joker's blood still that they didn't get fixed back during City. And so you had to fight them eventually in the game. But you go through this and you're trying to find Scarecrow, and you get to drive the Batmobile, which
we'll talk about here in a minute.
I just remembered the joke I was going to do originally at the beginning of the episode. I was going to do a joke about evening the odds.
Yeah, evening the odds.
But yeah, you go through all this stuff, and then you find Scarecrow, but you don't find Scarecrow because he wasn't actually there, and it was Poison Ivy. And then there's a militia in the city. There are tanks and choppers and people, and Batman's like, "What is this?" He says, "Time to go to war." That's what he says. And you go through the game, and you're now doing 2 things. You're trying to find out what the Scarecrow's planning and how to stop him, and also who are these militia.
Yeah.
You go to Ace Chemicals at kind of close to the beginning of the game, and you see the army, and Oracle says that the only thing that's known about their commander is that he's known as the Arkham Knight. And so, and the Batman's like, the Arkham Knight. And which, I mean, I just love this. It's kind of like Ant-Man in a way, how they put the word Arkham in front of everything. They put the word
Yeah.
quantum in front of everything in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arkham
Quantum
Knight.
Mania, Quantum. Yeah.
It's quantum in Arkham. But I mean, yeah, you go through the game. There's a cool part. You're trying to stop. Scarecrow's building a fear toxin bomb, basically, and he's going to cover the entire East Coast in fear toxin.
Yeah.
And you go in there, and you're at this cool part where you're in the middle of his like lab or whatever it was. And Scarecrow leaves, and you're taking up these canisters. You got to move real slow and put them in. You got to stop the blast radius. And you turn around after one of them, and Joker's there holding a gun at you, and he goes, "Miss me?" And he shoots you.
Yeah.
And
like what?
yeah, it was like complete shock. I'm like, huh? But it turns out it was a hallucination.
The crazy part is like that's the part where I stopped when I was playing it for like an hour or so, and like Larry's like, "Miss me?" Boom. And my dad's like, "Okay, time to go to bed." I was like, "No."
What?
I was so mad. Oh, it was great.
You go on. You're getting annoyed by Joker for the whole game. And in this game is one of my favorite boss battles, which comes from a side mission. I'll get into that in a second.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to hear this one.
It's not what you're expecting, but it is one of my favorites. It is my favorite. But you go through the game, and Batman finally gets rid of Joker, like seeing him and stuff. I don't know what he does, but he does something. I think Batman was like turning into Joker, something like he still had Joker's blood in him.
Yeah, he still like has it in him because it's like, because so it goes back to like a flashback or whatever.
Yeah,
where Gordon arrives like in like one of Batman's hideouts. It's not the Batcave; it's just a hideout he has at like the movie studios. And he sees like these three people there. Or no, it's four or something like that.
There were three with Henry Adams being like he was one of them, but he wasn't at that time.
Well, no. Well, the thing is, he had that boxer guy.
Yeah, he had
Johnny Charisma,
Christina Bell, Johnny Charisma.
Yeah, so there was four.
And A something. It starts with an A.
Or maybe it was just those three currently, and he got Henry later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was those three, and then you got Henry.
Anyways, so it just shows Johnny Charisma, the boxer guy, and what was the other girl's name?
Christina Bell.
And Commissioner Gordon's like, well, like what happened here? He's like, yeah, like these people are still infected with fear toxin or whatever. And he's like, well, I thought we got everyone out. He's like, oh, we missed some. He's like, well, what's with this other cell here? He's all like, oh, one that's going to be going in really soon. And it kind of like showed. Then you're like, oh crap. Then you kind of realize like, dang, Batman has the Joker's blood in him still.
Yeah, that cure only helped for a little bit.
Yeah. So, anyways, continue with the story.
I just want to say with that one scene with Commissioner Gordon, you're walking around, and right when you turn around, Batman's there. It's like terrifying. You turn around, he's there, and you're like, oh.
Oh yeah, as always. I mean, which I thought was perfect for Batman and everything.
Yeah. But anyway, you're going through. Scarecrow detonates the bomb. Turns out Scarecrow's working with the Arkham Knight. And throughout the game, Batman kind of has gets reminded of what happened to Jason Todd with Joker killing him.
Yeah, it's like his face. And then you see it.
Yeah. And anyway, the tank the fear toxin thing exploded, covered the whole city in fear toxin, and you somehow stopped it. I think you destroyed. No, I don't know what you did, but the plants, poison ivy, helped and got rid of it, right? And then, but that took a lot out of her, and she died. And
yeah, which kind of shocked me the first time I played it. I'm like, oh dang, poison ivy does. Oh. So,
but yeah, you go through that, and then eventually you take down No, hold on. Commissioner Gordon gets actually Barbara. We were led to believe that she died, Oracle, but she didn't, which that shocked me. And then Commissioner Gordon gets kidnapped by Arkham Knight, and you go and you find Arkham Knight, and it is revealed that Arkham Knight is Jason Todd.
which we all. Well, I kind of knew it.
I didn't guess it. I thought he was going to be a Joker.
Yeah, I remember me. I literally remember me and you talking about this at lunch during school. We talked about, like, what if it's the Joker and he has to like wear the suit to survive? And I fall and believed you too. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. That's it. I literally thought we like figured it out.
Yeah,
but I kind of figured that when they showed us the whole Jason part, I was like, oh, it's him.
I thought it was just fear toxin doing that to him when I originally played it.
And I think they kind of not retconned it, but like it kind of made it where it looked like because they kept saying like, oh, this was someone that was kind of here the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was watching closely, and by hearing that, I was like, "Oh, is it?" I swear, if it's Commissioner Gordon, that's crazy.
It could be.
If it was him and he was doing all those moves, like God.
But
no, it turns out it's Jason Todd.
Yeah, but then Scarecrow comes up and he says to Batman that he'll do something. He had Commissioner Gordon and Robin, and he'd kill them both unless Batman turned himself in, something like that. But but previously, Jason Todd became the Red Hood during this game a little bit. He took off his helmet and he had like the red mask or whatever, and that was the start of him being the Red Hood. But you go and you have to walk into this building to get into Scarecrow's truck. But outside the building, there's the Red Hood bat symbol painted on the wall, which I think sets up because he saves Batman.
He saves him in the end, and then you have that DLC. If you ask me about DLC, that's a whole. That's a here. I could probably pull it up if you need me to. If you want me to talk about that soon.
I don't know.
We have time. To do that. Yeah.
But you get in the truck and you go and you go through a bunch of crazy stuff. And then you end up in Arkham Asylum, right where it began, And
the intro looks just like it too.
Yeah, Batman's tied up on there on this thing, and Scarecrow is broadcasting this to the world, I think. And
he kind of like tells all the news people like, "Hey, air this live."
Yeah, and he keeps injecting Batman with the fear toxin, and it keeps hurting Batman. Batman kind of muscles through it at the end. And Scarecrow's like, what? I'm thinking of, it was kind of like the same thing that happened in Asylum, is when he stabbed Batman with the fear toxin, and then Scarecrow was like, I've just dosed you with enough toxin to drive 10 grown men insane. What are you? And then he punches him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's kind of like I would say you kind of have like a final boss battle there, and it's like yourself. Almost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Batman fights through his demons. Scarecrow takes Batman's mask off in front of the camera, and it is revealed that Commissioner Gordon takes his mask off.
Yeah, he forces him to.
Yeah, and it is revealed to the world that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And then Red Hood or Arkham Knight comes in and saves Batman because Scarecrow is going to shoot Batman, and Arkham Knight saves him, and then Batman takes Scarecrow's glove and stabs him in the neck with it, and then he goes, "What did he say? Like, taste of your own medicine, doctor."
Probably,
which is like
it's kind of funny because obviously the doctor, but also plus it's like you make it. Yeah, it's just funny. I don't need to explain it.
Yeah, and then Scarecrow like freaks out and take him away and arrest him. Batman
find out he's like afraid of Batman.
Yeah,
or at least it makes like a nightmarish version of Batman.
Mm-hmm. And then Batman tells Commissioner Gordon that it's time to he destroy the bat signal, don't they?
Well. Yes. Yeah. They do that. He puts like explosive gel on it.
Yeah, and then you have to do all this, like all the side missions and stuff, and then you activate Nightfall Protocol, where he drops his mask right beside the bat signal and gets into the bat wing or whatever it was, and flies to Wayne Manor. And
first, you have to collect all the Riddler trophies.
well, yeah, well, that's that. I'm not talking about that.
Before you get the real ending, you got to get all the Riddler trophies.
Yeah, and you're there. Shows the Batwing land. Batman gets out, and people are crowded outside of Wayne Manor's gate. And there's also a cameo from Calendar Man during that scene.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he was standing in the crowd, which kind of coincides with one of the comic books that tied into the games, where they said he was going after Batman pre-Arkham Knight. So maybe he's the one that did what's about to happen. But Batman walks up to the door, and Alfred opens it, and he's like, "Are you sure you want to do this, sir?" And Batman was like, "It's the only way they'll be safe," or something like that. And then Alfred says, "Very well." And after Batman walks in, Alfred looks out, he shuts the door, and the mansion explodes.
It's crazy because it's like as soon as that door closes, it just explodes.
Yeah, which was shocking. And everyone was like freaking out. And it panned up to the roof, and the fire was like spurting out, and then it shot out. And I should probably say right at the beginning of the game, one of the first things you see is the Arkham Knight symbol, or the Batman symbol on fire. And Commissioner Gordon says, "This is how it happened. This is how the Batman died." And at the end of the game, the same thing happens. And you hear him say, "This is how it happened. This is how the Batman died."
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just crazy. And I think that was it.
You want to talk about that ending, that whole like scene like right after, by the way?
Is that where Commissioner Gordon was like?
It's like he's calling Barbara, and they're like, her and Tim are like engaged.
Yeah, and he's running for mayor, I think it was.
Oh dang!
Commissioner Gordon was running for mayor. Yeah, that was the way he was all dressed up.
Yeah. I forgot he was doing that. But then you had that alleyway scene.
Yeah, which was I still don't understand.
Yeah. This game's been out for 5+ years, and I still don't understand. I think a few people do. There's even like concept arts of it and everything, but like it's what it is just it's kind of like similar to like Batman's origin story. Like there's people walking down in an alleyway.
Yeah,
and even the woman has like the white pearls Martha had. And so like
Martha.
Yeah, exactly. They have that whole, have like a very similar scene to that. And then all of a sudden these guys see like, oh look, it's Batman. Like, hey Bruce, how you doing? Mocking him. And then all of a sudden it does like that freaking I don't even know what to call it.
Like Nightmare Batman.
A demon from hell. Yeah. Just like he like opens his wings and stuff. It is terrifying looking.
Yeah, and then the game he flies the camera and the game ends.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, and there's some concept art of it, and you can get from getting one of the Riddler trophies.
Mm-hmm.
And and I guess it's just Batman. Like Bruce is still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone almost Bruce and Alfred are still alive. But
possible.
Like they're more like Batman doesn't do Bruce. He doesn't kill Bruce. He mostly he's just Batman now. Batman didn't die. Bruce Wayne died. If that makes sense, because he can't be. I don't know. He can't be Bruce Wayne now because again everybody knows his identity.
Yeah.
So he ain't even really Batman either. He's more like what everybody thought the myth was. Like this bat, running around because he probably got a hold of Scarecrow's toxin somehow.
Yeah, maybe could have. But and that concludes the main story of the Batman Arkham series. Let's talk about now that boss battle I was talking about.
Yeah, tell me what this is, because I seriously thought it was either going to be Mr. Freeze or Deathstroke from Origins. So tell me all about it.
Can you guess? Brooke, I'll give you like 2 guesses.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of all the side missions in the game. Is it? Don't please tell me it's not Deathstroke from Arkham Knight.
No.
Okay, thank God. Another Batmobile battle. Okay, is it Professor Pig?
Yep.
Is that really it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my favorite boss battle from all of the games, actually, because Professor Pig is such a strange villain, and his boss battle, it was so comic book like. He's around this table and he's going around it and he's throwing these butcher knives at you, and like it just worked. I felt like.
Okay. Hey, yeah, I mean, obviously, I just guessed it, but I wouldn't have if you told me from the whole series, I would not have guessed that.
Yeah,
but I mean, hey, I agree with you. That is a good boss fight. Almost all these games have a great boss fight to them.
Yeah.
It's probably a few that don't work. I'd say Arkham Knight probably has the worst ones.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You get to fight like Man-Bat. You get to fight Firefly again.
Yeah, those are cool. But then you have ones like Deathstroke, which, oh, God. Because what sucks is that you play Origins. And the thing is, that is kind of Deathstroke kind of starting out, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm all like, oh.
And Deathstroke takes over for Arkham Knight after after he leaves.
Yeah.
There's also a bunch of DLC for Arkham Knight, but we're not going to get into that. It does expand on the story a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, some takes place before, some it takes after.
The only most important one was a matter of family with Batgirl.
See that one and like the villain one where you got like all the villains.
Yeah, but
I'll say those two are the most important ones.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're a big Challenge Matt fan.
Yeah. So
there's a lot.
What issues did you have with this game?
Obviously the elephant in the room, the Batmobile. It's cool. I love driving it around, and battling in it is cool. But I like it. They just did it. They just overdid it.
I thought it was cool.
It's cool, but like
he had to rely on it a lot, which was kind of annoying. But
yeah, it's cool to have those things and have those things come out.
Mm-hmm.
But like I heard someone's like, how about he tries? I want to see if Batman can do one of those things just by himself in case he needed to. I see like people were like stuck in there, because he can't just blow it up. He has to like kind of sneak onto it in a way, take it out from the inside. Like I heard that idea. I thought that was a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard many things, and I'm like, I could have been way better. But I'll give it extra points because it let me ride in the 1989 Batmobile for DLC, and I was happy about that.
So if you could rate this game, I don't have any really. I can't think of any issues for me, but I know there are some. I just can't really think of them.
Yeah.
But if you could rate this game out of 10, what would you rate it?
It's crazy because I came into this saying that Arkham Knight is my least favorite, obviously. But after going through it, I would say after really discuss, because the thing is, I like, again, I don't care for the story in this game either. It's better than Origins, but I like it way better.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just really, it just goes down to who I'll have to give it like a 7.
All right.
And then I don't fully remember what I gave. I give Origins like a 6.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. 6 or 7.
Okay. Yeah, like Origins is just average to me. But Knight, I almost want to give Knight like a 6, just because it just had just big expectations for me. Because I mean, the City and Salem are good. Plus, Rocksteady's back on it. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be fantastic. But it just came out it came out okay. It came out like slightly better than just average for me. So it's like 6 or 7. For me, right. I'll go with a 7. I'll go with a 7.
I'm gonna go with I think 7's good, but I think a little bit more. But I don't like it as much as an 8. So probably 7.5.
Yeah, like I always ask, I'm like, man, do I like this game more than City and Asylum? And I'm like, no, there's no way.
But yeah, we don't have time to go into our own custom Arkham game. So, yeah. Well, maybe we'll do that at the end of. Well, we talk about Suicide Squad next week on the e-comic book Burrito. But
so maybe we can do that at some point.
Maybe. But yeah, we never discussed what we're doing next week on Extra Beef, but I think we did. Actually, we did. We did last week.
I don't even think. Yeah, we didn't even. Yeah, we just said that we were going to give a reveal here. We didn't really have one, but we
did.
We have the idea though. We're going to do a. We're going to actually let y'all pick. We're going to have two choices. Y'all probably see it in our. Oh, you think that sounds good?
I mean, yeah, but if we don't get anybody to vote for it, then we'll just pick it.
Yeah. We'll just pick it.
But the choices are. Let's go ahead and say that. I'll say one of them because this is one that I remember. We were going to talk about the Fantastic Four. I don't know if you say series, like all the Fantastic Four movies that have come out.
Original two Fantastic Four films.
Just that we're not doing the.
We're not going to do what do you call it, the Fant Four stick, nor we're going to do the original one from like the 80s, or I don't remember if it was 80s or 70s. But we like later on.
Yeah. So we'll do that, and then the next one was. I discussed it, but I thought about doing it maybe later on. The Raimi series, or one of the Spider-Man series, Mark Webb. I think it was the two we thought of were the Fantastic Four, and then the MCU as like a whole, just the MCU.
Yeah, golly.
We're not going to talk about every movie, but we're just going to just talk about what makes it what it is and how good why it's so good.
Yeah. Okay.
So the MCU or the Fantastic Four, and you guys get the pick.
Good or something bad.
Yeah.
You want to hear us trash about something, or you want to hear us rave about something?
Yes, because we can rave all day. That's what we do. Every podcast episode, we rave about Marvel. But it's about time.
Okay, we'll be able to vote on these on my Instagram, your Instagram, and the Comic Book Burrito Instagram. So
yes,
you have 3 ways to vote.
Yeah. So
we'll just pick one. So it ain't that big of a deal.
Yeah. So you can. I think I'm going to go ahead and end it off.
Okay.
Don't have anything else.
No.
Yeah. So
great series. If you never played these games, you're crazy, but go play.
Yeah, we hope this convinced you to do it, even though we spoiled everything. So
ruined it.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want to contact us for questions, comments, concerns, corrections, you can contact me on Instagram at DarienH4404. That's DARIENH4404.
And you can contact me on Instagram at Spider_Landon. And you can also contact us at the Comic Book Burrito on Instagram. That is the Comic Book Burrito.
Yep. And with that,
I did get a correction, but I was more for Comic Book Burrito, and I might mention.
Go ahead and say it. We can do some house cleaning real quick.
Okay. So I hung out at a friend's house the other day, or whenever we posted the video, and it was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I hung out at their house for a bit, and I still couldn't get Wi-Fi. I don't know why. I just couldn't. So I went there, and he's all like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Landon, it was you forgot to mention it was a free trial, not that the Avengers game was going free." I was like, "Oh, okay, sorry." It was just a little correction.
Whoops.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was whoops on my part. Luckily, you have a clean slate.
Yeah,
as far as you go.
For now.
So, for now.
But I think
I ought to just correct you one day, just out of spite.
But I think that's everything.
Yeah, that's everything.
Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. You're not watching this episode of Extra Beef. We'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, see you later.
Yep. Bye, guys.